Hey everybody, this is Dana Dobson, founder and principal at Dana Dobson Public Relations and the creator of the PR Breakthrough Workshop series. And I'm very excited to be speaking with Lois Hoffman, my friend, who is someone I've admired for a very long time and for a variety of reasons. The first time I saw her, she was tossing bowling pins at her husband, Michael, and he was throwing them right back, as I recall. Lois and Michael are well known on the East Coast as the Juggling Hoffmans, and they are a joy to watch. But Lois, of course, is more than just a juggler. I think it's funny that I just said just a juggler because there's no such thing as just a juggler, because juggling is a huge skill and takes years of practice, and Lois and her husband make it look so easy. And I can't even keep 3 tennis balls in the air, let alone 6 or 8 objects. But like I said, Lois is extremely talented in other areas too. She is also a writer, speaker, workshop facilitator, and coach for new and experienced writers. And she's written 2 books. The most recent one is called The Self-Publishing Roadmap, a step-by-step guide to publishing the book of your dreams. Lois helps writers overcome obstacles. And in the writing profession, there are many. The writing process is difficult, and the self-publishing process can be daunting for people who've never done it before. So maybe it's a lot like juggling. Writing and publishing a book takes years of practice, determination, and discipline. So I guess in a way, Lois, creating a book is a lot like juggling, right?
Right. Well, hi, Dana.
Hi.
Thanks so much for having me on. Not us, it's just me today.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. So, the biggest question on my mind right now is why would someone even want to write a book? What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, that's a great first question, and there are a lot of reasons people would like to write a book. Specifically for business professionals, the biggest reason is credibility. Someone who wants to be an expert in their field. Writing a book will do just that. If somebody wants to hire you or hire someone in your field, you've written a book on it. So obviously you have a little more, you have a leg up on someone else. And
right, it shows what an expert you are, right?
Right, absolutely. And as far as how you use it, you can use it as a value-added product if you're doing a workshop, or if you're offering consultation, you can add that to your list of things that people will get with your services. You can use it as a giveaway. I use a lot of books as giveaways at networking events. I have that, and then my name and my company is announced as part of the giveaway. It's really an inexpensive way to introduce yourself to a lot of people. And I get a lot of chip clips. I don't know about you, Dana. I get a lot of chip clips and promotional pens and other kinds of things. And I throw a lot of those away. Do you? Do you throw a lot of those away?
I've probably got the biggest, fattest purse full of pens that you've ever seen. Yes.
Right.
Absolutely
but,
right.
Now, something like a book, people don't throw away books.
That's
so
true.
they're lifelong gifts for people. When somebody gets a book and reads it, they really understand who you are, what your values are, and really can have an idea of whether they want to work with you. It's especially important for coaches and consultants in that way. So those are some of the big reasons.
Yeah. Well, those are. So I haven't thought of a couple of those before. I know you've been working with a lot of clients who are very interested in becoming authors, and from what you've seen, what are some of the biggest challenges they face when they realize what it takes to be an author?
I think knowledge is really the biggest obstacle, because most people haven't ever embarked on a challenge quite this big. So part of it is just where to start, how to write it, what to focus on, and what to say. Another thing is just the whole publishing process, because it's just a new field. So most people don't have an idea of how it all even works. And then marketing the book. How do you use it? Like we were talking about in the last part. How would you use a book to maximize your sales and your growth potential? So those are really the big three things. And there's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of opportunities for knowledge out there, and some of it is confusing, and it changes all the time. That's really the things. It's a moving target.
Right. It really helps to have an expert that you can pick up the phone and ask them what the heck's going on. So when you sit down with a client, do you actually help them map out the book so that they can break it into chunks, or what's your process for helping them go through the writing of the book?
Well, so the first thing I ask someone is why they want to publish a book, because it's really important to find out why. Why are you in business? Why? What are the desired outcomes? You want to know, well, it's all well and good to write a book and have it there on Amazon or have it on your desk, but if you don't know how to use it and don't know why you want to use it, it just sits there. So really understanding, do you want to be an international speaker, or do you want to grow your business locally? Do you want to attract a new or a different client, or just more of the same clients? So understanding what your goals are is really, really important. I mean, just like if you're doing your website or embarking on a new marketing plan, you want to know what your goals are, and then knowing who your target market is, of course, because you don't want to write your book for everybody. You want to pick out your ideal client and write it just to them. I tell people to cut a picture out of a magazine, or if people still read magazines, or go to the internet and start Googling, do a Google image search of their ideal client and post that on their computer. So when you write, you're writing to that one person. So it doesn't.
Well, that's good.
So
you can
person,
visualize your audience because you've created an avatar for them. Cool. Does anybody ever say they want to write a book because they want to get rich?
Plenty of people. I hear that a lot. That's pretty hard to do. You have to sell a lot of books. And that's why I encourage people to understand how it fits in with their business, because you can market your book so it maximizes the sale of your book, but at $3 to $10 profit on each book, you have to sell a lot of books to make money. But if you're a consultant, a coach, and you're making hundreds or thousands of dollars on a client, this is part of a greater plan that you want to focus on.
Right. Why I've just noticed in the last few years, self-publishing has just gotten more and more popular as opposed to going through traditional publishers. Do you have any theories on why the rising interest in self-publishing as opposed to going the traditional route?
Yeah, there are a couple reasons. Actually, one, I think the biggest thing is control. That you have control over the timing. If you're going with a traditional publisher, you have to get an agent. You have to research and find an agent that's appropriate. Then they have to find a publisher to publish it, and then it could take up to a couple of years for the publisher to put it out. So the time lag between when you write it and when it's published is really pretty great. So time is really a big factor. Content, you can write the book you want to write. The book that's for your audience, and not a book that's just commercially viable. So that's really huge. And And then also the royalties. The royalties are greater with a self-published book, and you can set the price that's best for you that maximizes your goals, not just the sale, but the overall goals for your book.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really the three big things. But I think timing is really a big factor, especially if you're writing about a technology. You've got to get it out pretty quickly.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. The product development times used to be every 18 months, and I think that's down to like 6 months now. So you really have to be quick getting things out there.
I know. I wrote a book about self-publishing, and boy, I've got to keep moving. Because
that's true. That's true.
Because
well, I know that.
Things changed.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting the heck out of you.
No, I think some of the things changed within a month. But fortunately, with self-publishing, you can update your book at any time. That's really nice.
Oh yeah. So, what I was going to say before, so this is a great segue, is that you really know how to use CreateSpace. And in your book, you talk a bit about CreateSpace. Can you tell us a little bit about why you like CreateSpace and why you recommend it for self-publishers?
Well, I think it's easy to use. And I'll say easy to use once I've figured out how to use it. There was a little bit of a learning curve, and that's why I wrote the book, actually, because there wasn't anything mapped out from start to finish. So I wrote a book to make sure that it was all mapped out. I don't think each step is that difficult. It's just that I needed an A to Z roadmap. And so it's free. It's free to register and upload your manuscript and publish on Amazon and expanded distribution. I can talk about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want me to tell you a little bit about the process that you would go through?
I would love to hear it. Yeah.
Okay. So, well, let's assume you have a manuscript. Let's not go through the writing process just yet. So, let's just assume you have a manuscript. You register on CreateSpace and answer a few questions. You put your title information and things in. Then you'll upload a formatted manuscript, and you can format it in Word or any popular word processing program. You upload a formatted manuscript. You upload a cover, and covers you can have a graphic designer do, or you can do yourself. I like using Photoshop. And once you upload the two of those, you submit it for review. They review it not for grammar and punctuation, but for formatting, just to make sure it's going to look right when it's printed. And then once they review it, you order a proof, and I would always recommend people order a proof because it sometimes looks a little different on the screen than when you receive the actual book. Mm-hmm. And once you receive your proof, you accept that proof and hit publish. And within 3 to 5 business days, your book is on Amazon. So that's for free. And you can easily convert your book to ebook through Kindle Direct Publishing. And there's a link to that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the publishing process in a nutshell. I could go into a lot more detail if you'd like, but those are the main points.
Well, in your book you go into detail, so I would just recommend that anybody who really wants to know it in depth order a copy of your book, because that really answers all the questions that I had about it. And then I reserve the right to contact Lois Hoffman so she can talk me through it.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just curious. You learned all of this by actually writing books yourself.
Mhm.
So
I did.
What was your
That
first
was
book
information.
about?
Well, my first book was called The Almost Perfect Birthday Party because I am a juggler. I'm a professional juggler. And when I heard about how to write a book, I was pretty excited, but jugglers generally are visual artists, so it was a little difficult to come up with a topic. But I like writing, so I gave it a shot. And I found all the information I needed to successfully publish it. So you can look around on the internet and find all of this information, but it was in different places. So a lot of people ask me how I did it. Because like you said before, a lot of people want to do it. It's exciting. It's really exciting to be able to put all your knowledge in one place.
Yeah.
And so I gathered all that information and then added to it. So just by the process of writing the book, I gained so much knowledge, and it's really rewarding because now I can help a lot of other people do that too. So through the book, a lot of people purchase the book, and which I'm really appreciative, and so it goes through all the steps, and you really have to. It's interesting how you have to know so much more to write a book than to actually just do it. So there's a lot of information in there.
Well, I've been to a couple of your workshops, and you really do know everything. So I'm just so grateful that you're out there in the world and you're the way shower to help the rest of us, because it's daunting. It's very intimidating. There's some nuances and subtleties that you really have to know that only comes from experience. So why fumble all over your own feet when you got a go-to expert on it?
Thank you.
So, okay, so it's not enough that a person has written a book, which is hard enough in itself, and then gone through the whole self-publishing process and gone through all of the steps and gone through the anxiety of that and the thrill of actually getting your first book in the mail or whatever that's like. But then a person has to deal with the marketing of it. I mean, that sounds pretty hard too.
Well, when you publish a book and want to market a book, it's like marketing a business. So you can, if you don't have a business already, there are a lot of steps that you should go through if you want it to be successful. But like I said before, it's really all determined by why you want to write a book in the first place and what you hope to accomplish by writing the book. So if you have a current business, you can use it either as an added value and offer it just as a side item. You can give it away or things like that. And in which case you want to publicize it on your website. But you don't have to go through a lot of hoops to add that to your business. If you want to grow your business using your book, then there's a whole strategy that goes with that.
Mm-hmm.
First is your website dedicated to your book,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're also going to look at getting reviews. Reviews are the gold standard. You want to get those 5-star reviews, and starting with people you know, and then working your way to people you don't know. If you have another expert in your field, and you can get a review from them, that's really a fabulous way to market your book. Because I don't know about you, Dana, I look at all of the reviews.
I do too.
Everything.
I do too.
I don't buy anything without looking at the reviews. So that's really important. And then doing lots of things like speaking engagements, going on podcasts like yours, Dana. That helps too. Guest blogging and tweeting and being on LinkedIn, posting about your book, your book launch, all the progress you're making on the book, and all the ways you're engaging with clients because of the book. There are all kinds of ways to use in marketing to use your book to launch your business, and in any number of ways. So I find it really exciting. I launched a whole business based on my book, and it's been an absolutely tremendous experience.
Mm. Yeah, well, your name's really out there, kind of as the go-to gal if you're thinking about writing a book. What's next for you? Do you have any projects in the works that you want to talk about?
I do. I am writing my next book, and that's going to focus specifically on business professionals. For the self-publishing roadmap was a step-by-step how-to guide. This one is a little more directly focused on business professionals and all the things we talked about. Why you would want to write a book as a coach or a consultant or anybody, a PR professional in business, how it differentiates you, and that I'm targeting for the fall. And I have a lot of upcoming workshops that I'm adding new ones all the time. So I do some live here locally, and I am starting new ones online as well. Very exciting.
Wonderful. Well, where can somebody go to get more information on your workshops?
It's on my website at www.happyselfpublisher.com, and there's lots of information there. And also on my Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/happyselfpublisher.
Okay, great. And if they want to have Lois Hoffman guide them through a book writing project, they should drop you an email?
That would be a fabulous place. So it's Lois@happyselfpublisher.com or 302-737-3163. I'm always happy to hear from people. It's great to hear all the energy and excitement that people have about writing.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put up a slide that has all this contact information on it, so our listeners are looking at that right now. And I just want to thank you so much, Lois, for sharing your deep knowledge of self-publishing with us today. I really recommend Lois's book. I've actually got it on my desktop because I ghostwrite for people quite a bit, and am trying to help them through the writing process. And Lois's book is kind of my Bible. I'll go ahead and say that.
Well, thanks so much, Dana.
You have written a Bible.
How about that? Thanks so much for having me on.
Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure, and hope to see you around. And thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.